Good afternoon, third graders. It's Thursday. We're in week 28, and this is going to be day 4 of our DMA. So, great job coming and checking your DMA today. A discussion question will be in your DMA for Schoology. So let's go ahead and get started. We want to round each number to the nearest 10, then add. So basically what we need to do is we need to round these whole numbers first, and then we're going to add them to find a rounded sum. Remember, the word sum means total put together for an addition sentence. All right, so remember, if you remember at the beginning of the year, I gave you your multiples of 10 chart to help you with understanding rounding. And since we're rounding to the closest 10, I'm going to look at number 212, and I want to round it to the nearest 10. So 212 is between 210 and 220, because I'm looking at my tens place here, which means that if I were looking at my tens chart, 212 would be in between here. Okay, it's going to be right in between here. So remember, in between your tens is 5. So that's going to be 215 for those two tens. Now 212 may fall in right about here. So we can see that 212 is less than 215, which means that we are going to round to 210. Now, we don't have a hundreds place here, but remember, we're rounding to the nearest 10. So the two tens that 87 is going to be between is 80, which is in the tens place, and 90. So remember, 85 is in the middle. 87 is going to be past 85. Right? Because 85 is right in the middle of the two tens. 87 may fall right here. So that tells us that we are going to round up to 290, or excuse me, to 90. I'm already adding these in my head. So we have a 10 and 90. 90 and 10 more makes a new 100. And 200 plus that 100 that we just added is going to make 300. Okay, so our sum of our estimate or our rounded numbers is going to be 300. If you wanted to put it up and down, again, that is also into an algorithm. It's still going to be 90 plus 10. That 100 gets carried to the hundreds place because it's a new 100, and that's still going to be 300. So what I want you to do today is I want you to find the actual sum of 212 and 87 and see if it is close to the rounded amount that you have there. All right, let's take a look at our word problem for today. It says Jill has 45 candies, and she wants to put the candy equally into 9 bags. So we have a total number of candies. That's the information that we know. We also know that we are putting them equally into 9 bags. And now it's asking us how many candies will Jill put in each bag. So what are we going to do here? What operation? Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Well, if I were to say, oh, I have 9 bags, do I have 45 pieces of candy in each bag? No, that's not what it's saying, right? That would be multiplication. Now, equally into the 9 bags lets us know that we're going to be not putting bags and candies together, but we're going to be dividing. Right, we're going to be dividing. So I'm going to turn my paper over, and we're going to do a little quick model to show what that looks like. So I'm taking these 45 candies and I'm sharing them equally into the bags. So those are my groups, and I want to know candies in each bag or each group. And this is all my candy. So remember, your division sentence always has to start with the total objects that you have. And in this case, we have 45 pieces of candy. Let's make it plural with an IES here, candies. So 45 candies, we're putting them into 9 equal groups, which are the bags, and there's going to be number of candies in each bag. So I could draw myself a model by having the 9 bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you know your multiplication facts really well, you could say, oh, I have 9 bags, and I don't know how many is in each bag, but I do know that it equals a total. Well, if you know, like I said, your multiplication facts, what can I multiply to give me 45? Well, if you said 5, you would be correct. Because when we multiply by 5, we have either a multiple of 10 or we have a 5 in the ones place. That's what happens when you have your 5s. So 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and finally 45. Notice the pattern. It's a multiple of 10, and then there's a 5 in the ones place. A multiple of 10, and then a 5 in the ones place. So we can say Jill will put 5 candies in each bag because she divided 45 into 9 equal groups for 5 candies each. Oops, sorry, I went off my 5 candies each group or bag, right? The group is the bag. And remember, multiplication is you know the groups and you know how many is in each group. You're looking for the total. Well, now we're just doing the opposite. We know the total. We're putting it into groups and looking for the number in each group. That's what that's what division is. Okay, the last problem is on a number line. We're using our understanding of fractions between the whole. So we have one whole of something. We're going to partition it into, first they partitioned it into half, you'll notice here. And then they took the half and they partitioned it into 8 equal pieces. There's 4/8 here and there's 4/8 here. Now it's asking, are these fractions equivalent to each other? Well, we know that for every fourth, right, every fourth is going to be 2/8. So this is a fourth and this is a fourth. And inside of that half is a fourth. And this is also 1/4. So just remember that 1/4, if you recall, when we were using our understanding of taking the fourth and breaking it up into 2 pieces, 1/4 is equal to 2/8. So we know that this is not equivalent. We know that 1/4, which is actually 2/8, if we were going to use that to compare, is less than 3/8. And so no, these are not equivalent. Now it says name 2 fractions on the number line that are equivalent. So we know that half is equivalent to 4/8. Those are 2 fractions. You could also, if you wanted to, you could also say 2/2 is equivalent to 8/8. That's another possibility. If you wanted to use that, you could. But they're talking about here, what do you see equivalent? You could also say 1/4 is equal to 2/8. You could say 2/4 is equal to 4/8. There are many possibilities. But we know that 1/4 is not or is less than 3/8. So they are not equivalent. So that's your DMA for today. Don't forget your discussion question. You're finding the sum of those of 212 and 87 to see how close you are to the rounded amount or sum. See you in whole group today at 1:30. Have a great day and see you soon.